What's up guys, Mr. Woomer here. Today, the video I'm going to put up here is going to be more geared towards our seniors. A lot of you know NOCTI is coming up. We're tentatively scheduled in for March 23rd. Okay, so it's fast approaching. We got about a month to prepare. But what we're going to be concentrating on is doing something that is as close as we can to mimic what the NOCTI performance section is going to be. All right, that's impossible to tell because it changes every year. But what I can tell you is that we know it's going to be some kind of a composite wall in some form. It could be a straight wall, it could be an outside or inside corner. Most likely it's going to involve brick. So with those two things in mind, I'm going to set you guys up doing smaller projects on an individual scale. These will not be group projects, but we're going to be working for speed here. Okay, so the size of the project is going to be a little bit smaller, but what I want to do today is kind of lay out and dry bond our first course on, I'm going to call this just a short, it's a 48-inch long wall. We're going to have block, it's going to be composite, it'll be block as a backer wall and then a brick veneer to it. It's going to be 48 inches long and there's going to be one corner on one side. So I'm thinking if we do something like that, that's going to cover all of our bases, and it's a project that's small enough that most of you seniors could probably do this 2 or 3 times before the actual NOCTI test date. So I'm thinking that would be enough practice for you guys. But what I'm going to do here is lay out the first course, and I'm going to dry bond it. I'm going to mark it off on the floor and show you kind of how I want you guys to set this up. So it shouldn't take too long. What you're going to need just the simplest of tools here. You're going to need a pencil, a tape measure, a folding rule will also work, but I recommend a tape measure, and a square. Okay. I have our materials set up here. I don't have everything we're going to need, but I have enough that we can lay out the first course and mark it off on the floor. So we'll have a good starting point to go with. So probably next week you guys are going to start this up. So what I have done ahead of time here is, I'm trying to focus the camera here, but I have our chalk lines snapped on the floor here. Now you can see there's 3 different lines, and to avoid the confusion, you're going to see in a minute when I start laying our materials down here. But the line over here on the far side, this is going to be the line that our block are laid to. This 1-inch space, this is going to represent the cavity that we have in between the 2 wides. And then this outside line is going to be the outside of the brick. So if I could just set these in here quickly. This is sort of what your cross section of the wall is going to look like. All right. Now I have these lines snapped. They're nice and straight. I have them measured out properly, so we have a good starting point. What I'm going to do is get this stuff out of the way. I'm going to set this up here so that you can see what I'm doing. All right. Now, I'll get that over here. The first thing I'm going to do is establish the two ends of our wall here. So let me try to hold this tape here. I'm doing this backwards so that you guys can see. Ideally, you would be working on the other side there, but get this spread out here. We have 48-inch long wall, right? So we've got a starting point, and we have an end point. Okay, we have our 48 inches marked out right there. That's going to be the full face of the wall, and then it's going to do a 90-degree angle coming back towards me here. So the next step is we'll take out our square. we're going to line it with one of these inside lines. Doesn't matter which one. They're all parallel. There's our square mark, so you can see kind of where this wall is going to be set. So I'm going to try to speed it up here, lay these out so you can see how this is going to go. Here's our corner block. Pretty decent looking block right here. Right down with our marks. These two are going to be regular blocks. You see the regulars here, they have this little notch on the end. Corners always are going to be flat there. Nice spot here. All right. We've got two regulars on the inside of the wall. And I'm just eyeballing these right now, but I'm trying to get about 3/8 of an inch in between each of these. Okay. Pretty good. And then we're going to use a half for the edge over here. So. That is pretty close to what we need. I'm with both marks. Space it out a little bit more here. Just to double check. There we go. All right. So this is the layout for our first course here for the inside of the wall. That's all we're going to do right there. Okay. There's our corner. Now the next step, see we have our other lines set up there. I'm gonna mark these on the floor, right where the mortar joints are so I don't lose the spot. Okay? Okay, so we remember where all three of those mortar joints are gonna line up. Now the next step, we're gonna put our bricks in place and we're gonna mark them out too. Start with the half over here. Again, keeping 3/8 mortar joints in that 1 inch space in between. You want to make sure that you guys are picking pretty decent looking bricks, okay? You want to pick nice looking ones for this. This is a graded project, so to look as best as we can. All right. Corner. I'm going to say one more here. Got our mortar joints here. Remember guys, we always mark these off because this was just to sort of piece everything together and make sure that it's all going to work out the way that we want it to. Sort of like we're dry fitting this, like we're putting it together like a puzzle. And when we come back, we're going to move the stuff out of our way, we put mortar in its place, and then we start putting all these materials right back where they are right here. It's kind of like a run through before you do your final, okay? But you want all these marks because they're going to help you in the long run. All right, so I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to spin the camera around a little bit. And try to give you, it's basically a pretty good picture of how we're gonna start out this project, okay? Now I'm gonna say it felt like that probably took me about 6 or 7 minutes to do. But the preparation stage for doing stuff like this is so incredibly important, and it's gonna make the whole project work out a lot better for us in the end, just because of that little bit extra that we did right there. But it looks like this is going to work. So next week, guys, you seniors, you're going to be working on something like this, and I am coming up with a plan for you
as to how high. I'm gonna go ahead and say we're probably gonna go up 3 courses, and we're gonna do a brick corner, probably not the full width, but we'll see. We'll get some practice in, and I think you guys are gonna be good to go for when we do our actual performance towards the end of March there. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll continue along with this next week, but for those of you in class, you're going to be doing what I just did here within a day or two. So thanks for watching, guys. I will catch up with you and see you when I see you.